on YouTube now.
Now streaming live on YouTube. Now YouTube.
Yes. So, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Organic and Natural Digital Trade Week, the first of its kind in the region, where buyers and suppliers connect online. We are now on our 9th trade week, and the previous trade weeks have been phenomenally successful, engaging, and educational. Each trade week is purposed towards connecting buyers and suppliers online during this crucial time when most businesses are conducted remotely. A very warm welcome to all our viewers and speakers from across the world. This week, the focus is on beverages, tea, and coffee sector. In this session, we will address recent trends, the overall growth in the Middle East, and the way forward for this category. Today, we've gathered here to find new business opportunities from some of our eminent panelists.
Excellent.
3 major industry players from the region and 3 suppliers from across the world who you can meet personally at the Organic and Natural Products Expo in Dubai this December. Now, let me introduce you to our panelists. First, we have Mr. Sanjeev Datta, Executive Director of Commodities and Financial Services, Dubai Multi-Commodity Center, DMCC, the international gateway for tea trade. Sanjeev Datta oversees DMCC commodities vertical and directs the development, implementation, and regulation of the organization's financial product platforms and services. An expert on trade finance and commodity markets, Sanjeev is responsible for identifying new business opportunities for DMCC and nurturing existing commercial partnerships. He was instrumental in establishing the DMCC Tea Center, DMCC Coffee Center, and the award-winning DMCC Trade Flow platform, and is tasked with enhancing trade through the buy of agri and softs, precious materials, precious metals, and stones. Sanjeev is a senior member of DMCC's executive leadership team and supports the general management, strategic direction, and growth initiatives of the organization. Sanjeev devised and implemented the organization's code of corporate governance and established its comprehensive risk management protocol. Joining on its inception, Sanjeev has held a number of senior roles within DMCC and served as the Chief Financial Officer of the Dubai Gold and Commodities Exchange. A very warm welcome to you, Sanjeev. Next, we have Kim Thompson, founder and managing director of the Raw Coffee Company, Dubai's largest coffee bean supplier. Kim has lived in the Middle East for 25 years, originally from New Zealand, and selected as an Endeavour entrepreneur in 2016. The first woman in the Middle East to obtain her Specialty Coffee Association coffee diploma and a certified AST instructor. Her role within Raw focuses on the sourcing and roasting of the coffee, supporting Matt in the growth of the business and internally the human element of the company. Today, Raw Coffee Company is recognized internationally in the specialty coffee community as a market leader of the UAE specialty coffee segment. Additionally, Raw prides itself in sourcing coffee beans ethically while ensuring the supplying farmers are treated fairly and can make a sustainable living. Welcome, Kim. We now have Vivek Hans, founder and CEO of Bevarabia, leading producer and distributor of beverages in UAE and KSA. Vivek, a certified barista, started following his passion after a stint in investment banking. Following his passion for coffee and other beverages, he decided to pursue perfection in the cup and share it with people in the UAE. Voila! Bevarabia was brewed with a clear vision to be authentic, friendly, social, and environmentally responsible. He was the founder and chief executive officer of Bevarabia, which is an umbrella brand for BAH General Trading and Cava Noir in UAE and Creative Hospitality Trading, which also operates Golden Brazil franchisee in KSA. Vivek has traveled to nearly 30 countries, sourcing coffee machines, green coffee, tea, syrups, and beverage-based powders. He has forged numerous relationships with coffee growers, tea producers, and factory owners in Latin America, East Africa, South Asia, Europe, and Australia. Welcome, Vivek. Now we have Rami Dumi, Head of Sales, Supplier, SAL, The company ventures into premium natural and health beverages, manufacturing, and distribution. Supplier products are made from highly natural selected ingredients, blended with a unique recipe to deliver superior taste for consumers. Supplier provides quality and value to its products. They are ISO 22000 HACCP certified, and they are thriving in reaching high quality standards to fulfill the demand specifications in hotels, cafes, health clubs, restaurants, and caterers, as well as in modern and traditional trade accounts. Welcome, Rami. Now we have Laura Ergi, Director of Namaste from Dubai. Namaste is a Dubai-based tea company in a mission to promote healthier lifestyle by providing natural and qualitative teas blend to the Middle East market. Awarded Best Boutique Brand 2018 by Women's Health magazine, Namaste is committed to modernize the codes of this ancient beverage while ensuring the highest level of quality and sustainability. The company has already completely removed plastic from all its packaging and is planning to be 100% biodegradable by the end of 2020. The product range is now available for retail as well as the hospitality sector with full traceability to the end consumer. Welcome, Laura. And finally, we have Sari. Sari is the founder and CEO of Chill Tea Co. She has a passion for Japanese teas and established a Japanese tea brand called Chill Tea Tokyo in 2018. She focuses on the high quality of products as well as representing Japanese culture. When living and working abroad as a business consultant prior to establishment of Chill Tea, she realized that real Japanese teas are not delivered to people who love them. Now she is eager to expand and introduce the virtue of Japanese green tea all over the world. Welcome, Sari. And I welcome all of you once again. I would now like to invite Mr. Sanjeev to open today's session with his keynote. DMCC has been an international gateway for tea and coffee trade. Sanjeev, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much. And it's an extreme pleasure to be able to open such an exciting webinar. Good afternoon, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, good evening for my colleague who's joining all the way from Japan. It's again an honor to be presenting over the next 10 minutes. So I'll give you a brief overview of what DMCC does. You know, we are a government of Dubai entity. We were established in 2002, and the sole purpose of our establishment was to create a commodity-focused ecosystem which would attract, enable, and promote trade to the Emirate of Dubai. Now, obviously, the word trade resonates very well with DMCC, and we are easy in terms of saying that we are made for trade. We are made for sustainable trade because obviously, especially focusing on the session we are amidst, how what we drink is manufactured, how what we consume is manufactured. The how word is very important as opposed to only what. So the way it travels from crop to cup has become an inseparable part of our lives. And DMCC, you know, sort of prides itself in putting sustainability at the forefront of all our efforts in terms of the commodities we deal with. We are an attractive contributor to Dubai's economy and diversification plan. And over the years, we've attracted over 17,500 member companies to our business district. And together, we contribute to about 10% of Dubai's GDP. Now, our free zone is a world-class infrastructure and state-of-the-art business facilities alongside a wide range of products and services that create an ecosystem for businesses to succeed. So for us, it's very important that our members succeed. And we play pole position in attracting and continue to attract businesses of all sizes to our free zone, from startups to SMEs to large corporates. Dubai, with its strategic geographic location, is perfectly positioned to offer companies across the globe a gateway to markets in the Middle East. So we are the center pot, and that I will speak about, especially with relevance and reference to tea and coffee. So how did the DMCC Tea Center come to fruition? So about 15 years ago, 2005, studies indicated that Dubai was a major throughput for the agricultural produce of tea. And we were sitting very conveniently in the middle of demand and supply. Now, typically, if you look at the growing nations, the larger growing nations such as China, India, Indonesia, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Kenya, and if you look at the major center ports for demand, the CIS, Europe, led by Germany and the UK, and if you look at the GCC and the wider region, we were sitting at the middle of demand and supply. So we became like a gateway, and that meant that the tea center grew over the years to handle over 50 million kilos of tea and underline Dubai's role as the largest re-exporter of tea with up to a 60% market share at times. So what does the tea center do? It does everything but grow the leaf. And by doing that in the most conscientious, ethical manner, we've underlined our role in one of the key players for tea trade routes. Now, as tea became very, very prominent, our next best option was obviously coffee. And we launched the Coffee Center, which took less than a year to build in February of last year. And we believe the Coffee Center will be instrumental in serving the coffee need, the produce need, both in terms of green beans, roasted products, as well as the value-added products in various forms. And again, there is a commonality between tea and coffee. That commonality is the consumption pattern and the growing pattern, and of course, the other fantastic coincidence of Dubai being in the center port. And in our Coffee Center's journey of a little over a year, we've been instrumental in shipping coffees all the way from South America, the African continent, and serving the needs of the region. And more so and more strategically during the pandemic, the situation that we never foresaw, but the DMCC Coffee Center, which is expected to facilitate some 20 million kilos of coffee within the first 3 years of its existence, played a very key role in ensuring a critical supply of green beans to the storage. So what was the strategy behind the establishment of the tea center? It was connecting demand and supply. What was the strategy behind the Coffee Center? Exactly the same, and we wanted to replicate the success of the tea story. What is our vision? Our vision is to provide a one-stop shop for entrepreneurs to set up, shop, and succeed. Now, typically, if you want to set up a business, there's negotiating with the authorities, setting up your infrastructure, there's capital investment. We believe we've taken care of all of that, and we want to provide that perfect infrastructure, a marketplace to the industry, panning both across tea and coffee. DMCC also prides itself as playing pole position in underlining Dubai's role globally as one of the top diamond trading centers. I won't dwell much on that, together with the fact that our contributions are unparalleled when it comes to gold as well. All of this, how do we facilitate trade to include tea and coffee, is by providing a platform, either Sharia compliant or the conventional financing in terms of trade finance, where traders, especially the smaller growers, the smaller participants, can have access to capital, working capital, which has become so difficult. 26th of August this year, we launched our Agriota platform. That platform is meant again to connect demand and supply, to connect the growers and to connect the consumers, and eradicate any unnecessary middlemen or intermediaries who would add to the price of a commodity. So a farmer is able to focus on growing and growing quality products, as opposed to worrying about who and at what price they're able to sell it eventually. So there's a price discovery as well. So we believe that the value chain is extremely important when it comes to servicing the market. It is extremely important to be distributed to deserving participants in that value chain and not only remain focused at any one particular stage of the value chain. So to sum it up, at DMCC, we are constantly looking into expanding our commodity offerings and tapping into new and international markets. We believe in providing a platform whether it is digital, whether it is physical, to create a marketplace so the participants can succeed. And that is our only aspiration. So thank you for your time again, and I look forward to the remaining of the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjeev. And I will also share your short video on the MCC.
Yes, please.
Everyone can view my screen, correct?
Yeah.
Welcome to DMCC, in the heart of Dubai, a business capital with unrivaled access to the world's highest potential economies and infinite possibilities. Our free zone is home to the leading businesses of today and of tomorrow, where over 100,000 people live, work and play in our award-winning community and our new world-class destination, Uptown Dubai. This is a place where innovation transforms ideas into opportunity and networks forge relationships that last. We are also the world's leading commodities hub, a global center for trading. Everything from tea and coffee to gold and diamonds, and so much more. Where ancient trade routes meet a hyper-connected future. To grow your business and reach the world, set up your company in the world's leading free zone and be part of the future of trade.
So there you have it. Thank you once again, Sanjeev, for that great keynote and giving us a good insight to start off our session. And now we are moving on to Ms. Kim Thompson. Before she introduces her company in her own words, I would like to play a video of Raw Coffee Company.
Coffee goes through 999 different pairs of hands to get to that cup. And it's nearly true. Everything is done by people's hands. And, that gives it something special. That makes it more. You're getting the energy from all those people into that cup of coffee.
Coffee to me is about a whole big family. It's about the farmers that grow it. It's about the team that are all working together here. It's not just about the beans, it's the whole total experience. Everybody has different tastes and likes, and the best cup of coffee that you can drink is the one that you like the most, not something that somebody's told you. You could take the same coffee and get different people to roast it, and it will come out completely different. That's what makes it really exciting to work with as a product. You're always chasing perfection. I don't think you'll ever get there. It's bloody exciting though to do it.
Perfect. So Kim, I now roll the floor to you to speak more about Raw.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation, Sanjeev, and hello to everybody else. My name is Kim, and I am the founder and owner of Raw Coffee Company. We're a 13-year-old business that was founded in the UAE in Dubai, and we are importers of green coffee beans that we then roast and supply to cafe and restaurant businesses, also to home consumers, much smaller scale than DMCC. We learned everything very organically and slowly. We're the founders, really, of specialty coffee in the Middle East. Our journey has been a very exciting ride, and I think we look back on it and very proud to be a Dubai business. And when you think that the whole coffee industry started in our region, just at our back door in Yemen and Ethiopia. We're in such a historically relevant region to be introducing now that third wave, especially coffee. We look at the coffee business or industry as something that is made up of many, many variables that we have slowly learnt along our journey. I honestly, naively started a business and then thought it was just about the quality of the coffee beans, had no idea it was about the training of the people, the baristas. It was the formation of very good, strong relationships with the farmers and the producers. It was the quality of the water, the beautiful quality of the equipment. Amazing, amazing industry to be involved in, and very happy to have been invited to join your platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim, for that wonderful introduction, and we'll wait to hear more from you during our question and answer session. And now I will introduce Mr. Vivek Hans, first by playing a video of his company.
Earlier this year, we embarked on a journey where our mission was to provide cafe-style beverages directly to your home. We're very proud to say that within a very short span of time, Beverabia is now the leading e-commerce platform in its category of beverages. We have almost 1,500 products on our platform. We have more than 100 brands and continuously adding those brands on our platform. We provide excellent quick service and delivery. We are able to provide WhatsApp support. We are able to provide technical installation and complimentary coffee with every delivery that goes out from beverabia.com. Moreover, you have selection of payment methods. For example, you can come to the showroom, buy your product offline. You can pay online. You can pay in installments. We are partnered with a platform called Spotty, in which you can choose to buy now and pay later. That's not all. We have added artificial intelligence on our platform, where if you're not sure of what you want to buy, you can go there and ask for assistance through this bot, and it will guide you to your favorite coffee. Think beverage, think Beverabia.
So yes, Vivek, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. That video was a bit cringy, I think. My son would say.
It's fine.
So, okay, thank you. Thank you, Kim, for you had an amazing journey, and thank you, Sanjeev, for the DMCC introduction. Beverabia started almost 4.5 years ago. Namika, my wife, and I founded this company. We started in Saudi Arabia, and we started by operating cafes. We own a few cafes in Saudi Arabia, and then we realized the potential this market has. We expanded into the UAE. We opened a cafe, then we opened our own distribution company where we were importing coffee beans. Initially, we were importing roasted coffee beans from Italy, and then we realized the potential in other beverages as well. And then Beverabia name came into existence in 2018. The idea was we wanted to cover the cafe-style beverages, and we wanted to cater to the hotels, restaurants, and the HoReCa sector. We expanded in that sector, and we are able to now, serve larger customers with this, with the sizes of 100 cafes and even more. We have partnered with a lot of large brands in terms of equipment and in terms of other products. Last year, we ventured into a roastery. We acquired Cava Noir, and since then we have seen the growth to be multiplied through the Cava Noir coffee. This year, we have established our e-commerce platform, and again, we are making a lot of progress through the e-commerce platform. And now our vision is to establish ourselves as a roastery cafe in Saudi Arabia, so as to expand our e-commerce platform in Saudi Arabia, which we are going to launch in a month's time. And then eventually we want to take it forward within the region, because we've seen a huge demand coming for these products across the region, and we believe we've done a great job so far. We can extend our reach to the region and even further through this platform. So we're very proud with what we have achieved so far, and we want to continue this work. We want to carry this forward. In terms of being responsible and being sustainable, we try and do our bits. We launch campaigns where we educate people on reusing the compost for the coffee waste. We try and use paper as much as possible so that we can use the decomposed stuff. So we're trying our best to be a very sustainable beverage company, and so far we're very proud of what we achieved. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vivek, for that interesting introduction. And now we're going to move on to our suppliers from world over. And we're starting with Laura, and I will first play a video of her product Namaste and from where it comes before she gives her presentation. Okay. So Laura, I now pass the floor to you.
Hi everyone, very nice to be with you today. So basically what you saw was mostly about the production part of what we do. So just to give you a little bit of context, we're probably the newest in this business. So we've been actually operating for the past 3 years now. We've been in this adventure as two sisters. So we've been in the region for the past 10 years, but started to venture in business together just 3 years ago. So basically, I will showcase a small presentation. So let me share my screen with you. Okay. So just to give you a little bit more of information of the brand. So basically, as you understood, the brand is called Namaste. So we are a tea company based in Dubai and importing our tea from Sri Lanka. So basically, the story started, as I said, as a family story. We had the chance to do many trips to Sri Lanka, and as French people, we were more into coffee. And we got introduced to the tea industry, I would say, rather late. But we had the chance to meet an amazing tea producer over there who really made us discover the benefits of tea and Ceylon tea in particular. So with a little bit of brainstorming session, we really decided to combine our both background to develop a unique brand for this region that will really promote wellness and beauty by creative, like active tea blend. So this is how Namaste was born. So what are we trying to achieve with Namaste? Really, our ambition is, I would say, pretty simple. We really want to focus on the healthy lifestyle, so promote the tea benefits on the well-being, in modernizing as well an ancient beverage and creating a new routine. So tea has been a beverage consumed for many years, but we really thought of trying to give it probably a new angle for a new generation as well. And of course, with a very strong focus on natural and sustainable aspects. So basically in the ingredients we select, as well in the way we produce and the packaging we select. So if taking that into consideration, I would say that these are the main pillar of our business model. So as I said, the first pillar being basically the focus on health and wellness. So we really make sure that we source only natural ingredients. We are like GMO free as well. And we really try to understand the complete value chain. So that's what the video was showing, is that we really try to go there, meet the people, meet the farmer. So try to also make sure that the product we are using, we know where they're from. And we selected Sri Lanka for that reason as well, because of the quality of the product and the auction system that is in place over there. So we also try from a consumer perspective to really to highlight the benefits, because a lot of people do know that tea is good for the health, but they don't always know what are the, as I would say, specific benefits on the body for specific ingredients. So this is really something that we try to educate our consumer around, especially in this region, because we do have a lot of tea consumer, but they don't always know what are the key benefits of those beverages. The second aspect is really the packaging. So as I said, we're really trying to modernize something that has been here for a long time. And we have decided really to focus on a creative packaging. So that's why all our packaging are very colorful and catchy. This is also because we want to disrupt a little bit the way tea is presented. But as well, very much focused on sustainability. So that's why, as Menaka mentioned earlier, is we first remove all our usage of packaging, of plastic in our packaging. So, and by the end of the year, actually we're almost there, we will be able to claim 100% biodegradable packaging for all our formats. So this is something we're really committed to, and we believe this is also something that the consumer are demanding. The third pillar is obviously the digital activation. So we know that we are living now in a digital era, and I think this recent pandemic even accelerated that point even more. So we basically really want to be present online and on digital to, I would say, present the product and speak to the consumer in a different way. And also to create some education over there and desire. We also focus on giftability a lot through that platform. And finally, the retail experience. So we really believe that it's not only about the product, but the way the product is consumed. And so that's why we really try to select the right touch point for the product and also make sure that we merchandise it in the right way. So whether it's B2B or B2C, to really give the tool to create a unique experience by also sampling and gifting a lot the consumer. So if I go quickly over our range, today we have a range of 9 flavors that's obviously extending slowly. So it goes from very, I would say, conventional or traditional blends such as English breakfast or Earl Grey, which are usually mostly demanded from our hospitality clients. But we also venture into more sophisticated blends, which are really signature brand of the brand. So basically, we've categorized them in 3 main categories. The health category, which really focus on the antioxidants and health aspect of the blend. We have as well a category called relaxation, so that are mostly tea that are focusing on soothing and releasing stress, which is also one of the main concern of our consumer. And lastly, a category which is a bit specific, maybe also created by our background. We call it Harmony. It's basically a range of tea that works on the skin, so to have also, I would say, beauty positive effects. So obviously pretty much liked also by the women consumers. So if we look at the range, so obviously here this is just the retail range, but we do a quite wide range of products. So we have the most, I would say, affordable packaging, which is usually our tea bags. So that we basically sell in supermarkets, especially groceries, special store as well, and online. We have as well loose tea, which are our more premium range. And then we have some kind of development in terms of gift box and specific coffret. So basically, as a supplier, we really try to have a very diversified distribution with different kind of products for every kind of client. So we have the retail, as I was explaining, with tea bags and loose. We do have as well hospitality. So here we actually sell products on a wholesale basis. So tea bags and loose as well as accessories. And finally, we work as well with corporations, so to create bespoke corporate gift or even gift for their employees. So we basically try to expand currently our network. So we actually already have the chance to work with Bev Arabia. So it's actually one of our clients. So very happy to be on board since this year. So, and yes, basically it's the beginning of an adventure, and we hope to be able to grow within the Middle East. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura, for introducing us to your wonderful range of products. I now hand it over to Rami to introduce Le Pré and the products. Rami? Okay, I think it's a bit stuck. So let's do Sari first, and then we'll come back to Rami. So I introduce Sari. I welcome Sari to present her products.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Sayuri from Tsuyote, Tokyo. I'm Japanese, so I'm gonna introduce Japanese green tea. So please watch the short video. So can I? So Chill Tea Tokyo is born 2018 when when I was traveling and working abroad, many people want to have try and Japanese green tea like matcha or sencha, but not so many people can get Japanese green tea in some countries. So I want as many as people try and enjoy Japanese green tea. So I started this business. So we have 3 different plantations, and organic green tea trees are cultivated in the mountain.
Sorry, just 1 minute. Rami, can you just mute your mic, please?
So,
yeah, thank you.
I'm cultivated in the mountain of Yame, 450 meters above sea level. So our Japanese green tea are grown healthy and nutrient-rich soil. Because you know why mountain tea is very premium and tastes very mellow and natural sweetness? Because there is a huge difference in the temperature between night and morning. So sometimes mountain has covered the snow, and sometimes the cloud cut the sunlight. So that produce a lot of umami, which is amino acid. So we are really focusing on organic and quality of tea taste. So why, as maybe you already know, why green tea? Because green tea has a lot of health benefits, and depending on the tea, of course, like the nutrients are different. And surprisingly, this is the world's tea exports market shares. And obviously 26% are from China, and 24% are Sri Lanka, and 23% are Kenya. And Japan stand only 2% of market shares. So only few people can get Japanese green tea abroad. Also, this is the total amount of tea export. That means if it comes to organic, less than 2%. And surprisingly, when I was checking the data, only 0.1% from Japan to UAE are exported. And you know, when it comes to organic, it's less than 0.1%. So even if some people want to try Japanese green tea or matcha tea, you know, you may be difficult to get real and organic and premium Japanese green tea. So yeah. So these days, more and more green tea trends and popularity in all over the world. Sometimes Zen times with Japanese green tea. As you already may know, matcha is used for meditative experiences of Japanese tea ceremony. So actually today I'm preparing for matcha bowl. So, you know, matcha is very different from typical green tea. And matcha is tea leaves, stone grounded to the tea powder like this. So when you put the matcha bowl and you pour the hot water and whisk it, this process, you need to be very calm and relax, and then drink this very strong green tea taste. That is very relaxing way and calm your mind and soul. So many people many restaurants and hotel now offering to these experiences to the customer. recently, we got an order from hotel who want to offer this experience to the customers, because some people just want to be relaxed and just calm. So we not only sell the tea product, we also teach how to experience Japanese green tea, or how to make real and nice taste of matcha. Also, center green tea or matcha latte, matcha chocolates are becoming very popular. So Japanese green tea is a bit bitter for some people, so but good for health benefit or nutrient. So people want to mix with chocolate or cookies, or sometimes like matcha latte. So these are the another way to enjoy Japanese green tea. So in addition, sometimes Japanese center green tea are different from other green tea leaves. So we want to focus on the mixing the culture of Japanese. So that's why we use the Japanese package as Japanese traditional painting called ukiyo-e. So then you can maybe enjoy the different culture and different style of tea. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sari. It's really wonderful to see that we have such new and innovative products just waiting to come to the region. Finally, we have Rami. Hi, Rami, are you there? Okay, what I'll do is I'll play his video, and if he joins, then he can do the next part of it. Otherwise, we just move on to the question and answers. Okay.
من قلب الطبيعة الخضراء ومن رحم الجبل اللبناني بمنطقة جوار الحوض ولدت فكرة معمل لوبري لعائلة الخوري اللي عرفت قيمة الأرض وكرم الطبيعة وعاشت من خيراتها.
لوبري تأسس بال 2016. كان بدنا اسم شوي جامع يفرجي الخضار اللي نحن عايشين فيه، ومش هيك اجت فكرة لوبري اللي هو كلمة البستان يعني أو الأرض الخضراء. نحن عايشين هون بالضيعة من 1730، وجدودنا من زمان وجر كانوا دايما يهتموا بالأرض، وكنا دايما نزرع، وكنا دايما التجارة تبعنا بالزراعة وبالفواكه، وقلنا إنه لازم المعمل ينعمل هون بقلب الضيعة.
حمي الأبناء للخوري إرث أجداد بعقل ووجدان، وقرروا إعطاء ثمرة التفاح قيمة مضافة من خلال تحويلها إلى عصير وخل ذات جودة عالمية.
قلنا خلينا نبلش بالمنتوج الخل والمنتوج العصير. ليش؟ لأنه لقينا نحن حبينا نعمل بريميوم برودكت، ولقينا إنه في نقص بالسوق اللبناني بالمنتوجات البريميوم، فهون لقينا جاب، لقينا طريقة فينا نفوت فيها ونميز حالنا عن غيرنا، تنعمل برودكت عن جد ريلي هاي كواليتي وبريميوم، ويكون شكل قنينة عن جد مميزة كمان.
نكهات وخلطات منوعة بيتم تحضيرها بمختبر لوبري لتخرج بنوعية فريدة قل نظيرها بالسوق اللبناني. تشكيلة مميزة من خل وعصير التفاح الطازج 100%.
نحن خلطتنا مثل ما قلتي خالية من كل أي مواد حافظة أو أي مواد بتعطي سكر زيادة أو شوجر، 100% طبيعي. نحن بس وي باسترايزد، يعني كلمة بتبين بالوقت كرمال تنوصل على هذا الإنتاج. كل الكواليتي تشين شغالين من الأول للآخر. التفاح الكبير شكله حلو وبعدها ونوعية السكر فيه منيحة، هيدا بس بناخده من فوقه بنحطه بالبرادات لحديت ما يجي وقت ننجو، بعدين بنرجع بنطلعه على الانتاج وهونيك بنعصره ونرجع بعدين وي باسترايزت بنبستره كرمال تنقتل البكتيريا وبرجع بعدين بنعبيه.
فعلى مساحة 6000 متر مربع أبصر معمل لوبرين نور بمقاييس عالمية وهندسة داخلية رفيعة وماكينات وأدوات صناعية متطورة بتحاكي كبريات الشركات العالمية بجودتها وطعمها.
بظرف وقت كتير قصير قدرنا نحصل على شهادة ايزو 22000 ومشان هيك من وقت ما تعمر المعمل عمرناه according to ISO standards واخذنا into consideration كل الامور اللي لازم ناخذها كرمال نقدر نحافظ مش بس على نظافه بس على كواليتي تبع العمال وكواليتي تبع المكانات ونظافه المكانات.
So now I pass it over to Rami to share his presentation.
Okay. Hello, this is Rami from Lebanon. It is our pleasure to be among today's platform. Sorry for the technical issues due to Beirut blast. We are facing so many problems. Okay, our product is 100% natural, made in Lebanon. Our factory
We can see your presentation, Rami.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can continue.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, very good. So our product is 100% natural, no preservatives, no additives, no concentrate. It's only pure natural apples. We have apple with carrot, we have apple with pear. This is the apple with carrot also. We have also apple cider vinegar filtered 100%, and we have the apple unfiltered raw with the mother. We have blend rarity 100% natural, taste like never before, and we have 1 year shelf life. We have put all our expertise in getting state-of-the-art equipment from the best European supplier, and we have skillful, talented people to develop a natural juice that can last longer. Our brand is a premium. The packaging, we have also to provide benefits to the consumer, the supply chain, and the environment. Due to recycled glass containers reflect our premium standing and how much we can do care about our planet. This is our range. We have the apple juice, 750 ml and 250 ml. We have apple and pear 750 and 250 ml. We have apple and carrot. We have apple and mulberry, apple and apricot, and apple and cherry. And also the apple cider vinegar and apple cider vinegar unfiltered raw with the mother. We can share with you some of our execution in the market. This is among top retailer in Lebanon like Spinus and like Carrefour.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Rami. And those are
Thank
his
you.
details for anyone who would like to get in touch. Let's now begin our panel discussion with some really intriguing questions. So Rami, you can stop sharing the screen. So before divulging into the Middle Eastern landscape, let's hear your views on global trends. And I'd like to start with Sanjeev. What is your perspective on global trends in terms of natural and organic beverages in the tea and coffee sector?
Well, firstly, tea and coffee, they are considered as vital sectors. Here in the UAE, when we were effectively trying to curb the pandemic, everything was closed, but one of the vital sector classifications was tea and coffee because we were seen as very strategic suppliers to the market and also built a very robust pipeline. Now, typically the tea market is supposed to witness a growth of about a CAGR of about 4.5% for the next 5 years. Now, the black tea segment is the most prominent with the highest market share. However, the largest amount of growth can be seen with green and herbs as well, because consumers have become more associated and aware with health benefits. Now, within coffee, consumers are witnessing and developing a greater understanding of different specialty beans, where and how they are sourced. So the sustainability angle is very important, as I mentioned. And they're also very knowledgeable in terms of how to produce good coffee with these beans that are sourced. So this has been compounded with the fact that the ongoing pandemic prevention measures means coffees and the favorite brews which people are making, as opposed to just going to their local coffee shop. So consumer patterns are changing. Again, we draw a very classic example of raw coffee. It's very close to our chairman and CEO Ahmed's heart, not only because of what they do, but how they do it. And we heard from Kim how they've looked at the segment and the market a little differently as opposed to, bulk. So that I would say is the future and the outlook. And of course, between 2018 and 19, we had a staggering 165.35 million coffee bags, each weighing 60 kilograms. These were consumed worldwide. And that was clearly higher when compared to the previous years. This is as reported. So overall, coffee and tea, they are complementary beverages, but yes, the consumption pattern, both for the normal as well as the natural and organic beverage sector, has been resilient and looks promising.
And you would say the same for the Middle East as well?
Yes, absolutely, because Middle East is also a very conspicuous chapter within the overall demand-supply pattern. And that's where Dubai, as I mentioned earlier, draws a very pole position in terms of its capability to sort of service not only the GCC, but the wider Middle East as well, because some of the countries, especially Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, you have Turkey, these are some of the largest consuming countries when it comes to tea and coffee.
And Vivek, what is your opinion on the Middle East market for organic and natural beverages, tea and coffee?
I totally agree with Sanjeev, what he's saying about how vital this sector is. If you consider the global trends, organic is growing faster than the conventional, both in tea and coffee. Typically, they make a smaller share of the conventional commodities. So, for example, the coffee market is around 10 billion for the organic. Most of the consumption for organic coffee comes from the US or Europe. I think we see a very small share in the Middle East, and I'm sure Kim would agree on that. I mean, the number of suppliers who are supplying organic coffee are fairly limited in the region. And for tea, what I understand is the growth is for the organic coffee is mainly coming from China at this stage. If you compare the growth rates, the conventional trees, tea and coffee are growing, you know, depending on the reports you read, which report you're reading, it's between 3 and 4%. However, the organic consumption demand is almost 8 to 9%. So that shows how the trends are changing worldwide, how people are demanding more of organic products as compared to the conventional.
And I just want to roll off that with Kim. So the whole demand supply issue, do you find there's more demand than supply here in the Middle East? And what is your opinion on the, once again, the organic market in the Middle East?
Well, I think obviously talking about this now versus talking about it pre-March, I have two hats. So I have the importer's hat that's sourcing, you know, specialty quality coffee, and under specialty quality coffee, you have all the certifications like the ethically traded, you have the organic. I would rather than focus on organic, which is very limiting for us as a buyer, I would rather focus on specialty because that's indicating the quality of the product. And I think personally for me, in my journey over 13 years, we had 3 pillars when we started the business, and organic was our first pillar. I believed that to be essential to indicate the quality of the coffee we were buying. As I've gone on my journey and been to origin countries and understood the certification processes and the issues the farmers have, I've understood that things like all the words the other people are saying with the sustainability, the ethically sourced, but more the direct trade. So by going there, I can ascertain that the farmers are not using pesticides and chemicals. They might be using mineral supplements for soil depletion to ensure that the trees are growing well. So as I've learnt more, I've understood that for me, the importance really is focused on that relationship with where my product is coming from, the knowledge that I share and learn from the farmer, and then being a roaster, putting my next hat on, it's giving that farmer the voice to share my knowledge with the consumer that's buying the product. So it's about quality. I think at the moment we're looking at, you know, supply and demand shock in every aspect of our coffee world, because it's shocking to think of the volatility of prices, the fact that farmers are trying to pick their crop, but they're having to use social distancing with their pickers, so they can't actually pick their crops easily. They've then got so much uncertainty and shipping charges that have gone up, and you know, buyers like us that would usually be in country, you know, from May to October visiting our different buyers, we're unable to travel, so we're relying on our relationship and the strength of our communication to be able to get samples sent to us, trusting that we can get that sample. Now that there's so much unknown, and it's so scary because we're looking at countries, all of the countries that grow the beautiful coffee we buy rely on coffee. They're looking at food shortages, they're looking at poverty. It's really, really scary at the moment. but yeah, I don't like focusing on one thing as regards to, I know this is about organic and natural products, but I would rather use the word specialty and then focus on the entire quality of that product, organic or healthily grown coffee being the overall umbrella it sits in.
Of course, ethically sourced,
Sustainable, everything.
it's all very important. It's all interconnected in a way as well.
Yes, it is.
I think
perfect.
I'd like to add
Yes,
something
Vivek?
here. I'd like to add something here, what Kim was pointing out. Most of these farmers are barely able to, make their ends meet. And getting organic certification is not easy. Some of our suppliers, they produce coffee using organic means, but they can't produce a certificate because it's expensive.
That's correct. And also it doesn't actually help them generate any better revenue coming in. When we asked them what was more important, it would be more that we would confirm that we would be purchasing a certain amount, that maybe we would pre-commit to finance, or that we might buy 10 tonne this year, but we would buy 20 tonne next year. That was more important to them than getting a certification, but not knowing how to get a buyer.
Absolutely.
Sure. So now that we're talking about the current times, and if we're talking about it from a consumer's perspective per se, has the consumer changed the way they drink coffee? Do they want it to be, or beverages in general, not only coffee, but we're also talking about soft drinks and those sort of things. Have they become more conscious of what they consume? So Laura, I'd like to ask you first.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I think there was anyway already a change that was happening. I think the COVID just accelerated vastly this transformation. So we see a couple of transformation, obviously. Like, I think one is obviously the supply chain management. We saw that with the recent pandemic, there was a lot of constraints when it comes to importation, and I think it's particularly relevant for the UAE, which is have a very limited local production. So I think there will be a lot of shifting in the way we import our products, and probably focusing more on local product, if I can say, for the UAE. So in our case, probably proximity in terms of neighbors countries, but as well, like probably companies that are set up in the UAE, because the consumer are really now much more aware of where the products are coming from. They're demanding on traceability as well. So I think this is a major shift. I would say that there is also the shift of sustainability. So it was already a growing trend, but I think this recent pandemic also accelerated this demand. It highlighted even more, I would say, challenge for our planet. And I think the consumer are really, really looking at the way the products are made and how they're packaged. So this is why we've addressed that. And the last thing is the conveniency. I think the way people are actually consuming, it's a fast pace. They are getting used to being delivered and supplied in a completely different manner. So I think the supplier, the retailer, the distributor are obviously rethinking the way the products are distributed. So we can see a lot of players. I mean, Bevarabia, for example, was mentioning opening the e-commerce. I think a lot of people are readapting the way they do business to be able to cater these new needs.
Yeah, and also moving on, I wanted to ask Vivek about that as well. Since you run an e-commerce platform, are you seeing a shift in the way people order this specific thing, beverages? Or what is yours?
We've seen huge momentum. In fact, we were working on the e-commerce prior to Corona, but we accelerated, as Laura mentioned, significantly. And we took a big call of having, various partners rather than just supplying our products. We changed our vision from just being selling our products online to be the largest beverage focused portfolio. Why we did that? Because we saw the trend significantly changed. we are present on third-party channels as well. And we saw the consumer pattern, the behavior pattern was changed completely. We operate our own cafe, so we understand the 360-degree view of the market, and we see how the market is changing so dynamically. I mean, a lot of people have even gone to an extent of buying smaller roasters for their homes in Saudi Arabia. There is a company in Taiwan, Bullet Roaster, which is running out of capacity just to be able to cater to these kind of roasters. So all in all, people are becoming self-sustainable in terms of being able to produce their own coffees and in terms of being able to consume their own coffees. They're not going to the cafes as much as they used to go earlier. And I think this trend is going to be, we had foreseen this to to happen in, let's say, a couple of years, because the cost has gone up significantly, and when it's hurting the pocket, people were looking at brewing their own coffees. The biggest trend we've seen is the kind of equipment being sold in the market. We used to sell a lot of B2B level machines, and suddenly everyone is out of stock for the smaller machines for the home, and there's so much in demand that the factories cannot cope up. Cava Noir, for example, used to represent a company called ECM. They're saying we are booked till January, we don't have any production capacity. So all in all, I mean, there is a huge pattern from where we were pre-COVID, as Kim pointed out, to where we are now. We are facing challenges in terms of supply chain, in terms of product availability, in terms of being able to provide healthier, sustainable, and yet we are facing a pressure for the pricing because people don't have the buying capacity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that I think self-sustenance has definitely been a major shift post-COVID. People would always go out to have their coffee, or even I had a chat with the beauty industry 2 weeks earlier, and now everyone's doing their beauty things at home. So in every industry, I feel it has been impacted. Moving on to re-exporting. So I wanted to ask Sanjeev, what are the efforts made by DMCC towards becoming the largest re-exporter of tea in the world?
Yeah, I mentioned part of that. As part of our mandate to connect demand and supply, we are always looking at and following commodities where there's an opportunity for us to come in as a government institution to provide a marketplace or a platform, whether it's electronic or physical. Now, wind back to 2003 and 4, and we saw a significant amount of tea transiting the ports of Dubai. And that's when we opened a temporary physical infrastructure near the port and then built what we now call the DMCC Tea Center. So that's a 24,000 square meter facility. We can stock up to 5 million kilos of tea from 26 countries. And we do everything but, grow the leaves. So we are blending, packing in all formats, whether it's for black tea, whether it is for flavors, or whether it's for specialty. So what is the ready availability and the ability to multi-origin blend. Now, Laura is dealing a lot with the Sri Lankan origin teas. Yeah, but what also happens is, depending on the affordability in terms of price point, when you're trying to sell a leafy tea to Iraq or to Libya versus to Germany, depending on what the economic climate is, sometimes it's not 100% pure Ceylon tea, but the ability to blend naturally with an Indonesian, which retains the effective cup characteristics but comes at a lower cost. So multi-origin blending is one of the other aspects we've introduced, and again, just in time. So if you see the ability of Dubai to service 80% of the world's GDP, 65% of the world's GDP within an 8-hour flight radius in terms of specialty, or by road to the local neighboring countries such as Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and the on-time essence, means the crop is fresh and the consumer gets a fresher quality. So this is what we've done in tea. We want to replicate that for coffee as well, and use this as a very strategic stocking point to service and serve the local markets.
All right, and just a question to anyone from the Middle East. What we see India, Sri Lanka as being the main sources of tea for importing here. But what are the other tea and coffee, maybe African countries? What are the countries, according to you, where people are sourcing from right now?
The world, everywhere. I think it's taken us time to develop the relationships from the farmers and the cooperatives we buy from. We're dealing with some issues sourcing from Ethiopia at the moment due to like political challenges that they have there. And, you know, I think it was 2 years ago, Guatemala had the volcanic eruption. So you really do need to have, you can't have all your eggs in one basket. You can have your favorite countries that you purchase from. A country for us, our four main countries at the moment would be Colombia, Ethiopia, Rwanda, and Burundi. But then we have other countries from Central and South America. We're playing a little bit in Central, Southeast Asia. We love the coffee from Yemen, and we're always struggling to get that out at the moment, also because of their political problems. But you know, it would be risky, I think, for us in the coffee industry if we were reliant just on one country, because they often have challenges, whether it's from weather or politics.
Would you say the same for the tea industry, Sanjeev?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the good part about it is, you know, depending on, as you said, as Kim mentioned very rightly, it's the weather and the geopolitics. So if there's a drought in one region, you should be able to replace that in your blend with the other region. Again, if the prices are high in one region, then obviously, you know, you're looking at replacing that. So that interchangeability really boils down to the expertise of the blender. But yes, you can't stop. Now, typically there have been very, very successful brands in the past which have used Sri Lankan teas as a very, very key component of their blends. But given the rising prices of Sri Lankan teas, they've had to alter their blends with the Kenyans and the Assam. So there's always that aspect of interchangeability. And yes, you can't put all your eggs in one basket.
Sure. And now I have a question. Yes, Vivek?
No, I was just going to add that it becomes more sensitive for the organic coffees because, you know, not just the local climate condition. I mean, it also depends on the seasons. Each country has a different harvesting season, like Colombia usually has 2. African countries typically rely on 1 harvest season. And then you know, especially for the organic products, you cannot have a consistency across the product, which is what a lot of people fail to understand here. They expect to be the crop to be consistent year after year. It cannot happen. It's not going to happen. And I mean, I know my father had a rice business. From the beginning, we have been noticing if you are not using any chemicals, if you're not doing any you know, artificial processes, you cannot have a consistent product. Even if you have the same product, then also its characteristics will change over a period of time. So you cannot rely on one country at all. I mean, we bring coffees from more than 20 countries ourselves.
Right, yeah, of course. Like Sanjeev said, you can't put all your eggs in one basket, especially when it comes to organic. Yeah. Now I have a question for Sari. So Sari, since you're living in Japan, what challenges have you faced during this COVID time as a tea exporter, and how have you dealt with the logistics?
Yes, because, you know, due to the limitation of the air flight, you know, we cannot export tea from Japan to other countries. And also sometimes we can get the chance to export. The costs are like a double, you know, compared to the past. So it's damaged our, you know, supply chain management.
Right. Yes. But in Japan, I think the virus is pretty stable, or how is it?
Yeah, it's okay, you know. Yeah. So, and also, people like our tea farmers are living in mountain areas, so they are really safe and yeah, they're living clean and yeah, very nice.
Okay.
Good.
That's great. And Rami, how about the logistic problems faced by you for the exporting your beverage?
Since our product is new in the market, we face lots of problem due to COVID-19. First, the activation and the participation in so many exhibitions canceled due to lockdown, due to many measure and strict measure have been taken across different countries. Actually, now we are focusing in Lebanon with the big retailer in order to activate the product, to connect the consumer with the product in store activities. But it is very difficult currently, and we have many below the line, many above the line activities also. It has been now freezed due to the COVID-19 measure.
Right. Let's hope the next year is a silver lining. Coming to that, the question about getting suppliers international suppliers into the region. So starting with Kim, what advice do you have for international suppliers who want to enter the beverages, tea, coffee sector in this region?
I think it's very important to do your own strong due diligence, to maybe contact your trade commission if you have a representation here, to get some, accurate figures, because I think when I read a lot of the international figures for this region, they're always much higher than I think the reality is for us, because we're dealing, the UAE is a population, less than 10 million, and a lot of our demographic are people that would not regularly spend money on a beautiful cup of matcha tea or a organic freshly squeezed apple juice or a specialty cup of coffee. So we think the demographic is a lot smaller than we often read. So I think to really know the niche you want to play in and to get good strong figures, I would also recommend coming down to the region and looking at the competition that you would be facing, to understand what they do well and where their weaknesses are. For example, I know there are a lot of, beautiful young tea companies. What differentiates your company from the other? Is it your strength in marketing and to getting to the young female clientele that are looking for that beautiful healthy drink? And it's come down to it's not just having a passion for your coffee or your tea, it's actually having a strong business proposition. And I think it's a very exciting region still, but I think I know personally I was very naive when I set up the business 13 years ago, and that what I've learned since, that could have saved me a lot of time and I could have made a lot of money a lot faster. That would be my advice.
Thank you, Kim. And from a DMCC perspective, what advice would you have for international suppliers?
Well, the first thing is obviously we are here to facilitate your introduction to the international arena. I mean, we always receive requests for products from different parts of the world, but I would say, always make a pragmatic approach to testing the acceptance or rejection of your commodity and product, especially for the region. So we're here to make your samples available to our member community, which is significant, and also help you and enable you succeed in your venture. So that's what we would do. It would be trial before jumping in. We're not here to just ask you to open a company and start off and have a loss. Rather than that, start with the samples, see how it goes, meet with the buyers, meet with prospective members from the same industry, and then, tread pragmatically.
Yeah, that's also one of the goals of the Organic Expo in December. So our exhibitors can basically meet with buyers and they can try those samples as well. And Vivek, how about you? Any advice for suppliers?
Yeah, I think I would like to say that it totally depends on the strategy of the company. As Kim mentioned, the underlying market who have the buying capacity of end products is fairly small, just in the UAE. But if you have a strategy to address the region from the UAE, that is perhaps a broader strategy, which for any F&B supplier who's looking at the region can address. All in all, the UAE market may be competitive. It's still lucrative. It's still growing. Obviously, there are businesses who do not adopt a proper strategy, who do not do their market assessment, who do not address their strengths and weaknesses. They will find it difficult. But if someone is able to create a niche within this market, there is always room for a new player in the market. And if you have a broader strategy, then it's always welcome. But then you have to make sure that you are able to enter the neighboring countries with your strategy.
Yeah, sure. Every country will have its own strategy, and it's very important to make your own niche. Thanks for that. My final sort of question is just a quick two-liner on what you feel would be 2021 in terms of organic and natural in general. So can start with Laura.
Yes, so actually to kind of go back to what was already said, I do believe that, as we say, traceability, sustainability are a very big strength and big trend as well. Organic is a bit of it's a bit of a difficult term as well, because we from a supplier, we face kind of the same observation that Kim mentioned earlier, is that it's not always feasible, it's not always the best. So that's why I put into, I would say, brackets the word organic, but as a general trend, obviously I'm expecting it to grow on an overall trend, natural and organic. I think natural is definitely something that's going to become extremely important. Organic within this natural is going to play a big role. Let's see how that can be integrated. I think rather than being a niche, what we will see is that it's going to become a generality for any supplier to put quality and sustainability at the core of their business. And maybe the certification on its own is important, but I think in the future, there's just going to be a kind of a standard for everyone to have. So yes, very, very big growth in the future, I believe. But again, I think this is going to be a general trend for everyone, for every supplier that is playing in this industry.
Okay, and Kim?
Yes, we have big plans for next year. I think we've got new challenges that we hadn't actually factored in when we were making our plans. So we're trying to have a bit of diversity. We're coming up with different scenarios, like best case, worst case, and how we'll tackle those. I think communication is really important, and that's what we're trying to focus on. So whether that's communication with the farmers, like for Sari is saying that she can't export. So who's buying her the farmer's tea if she can't buy it and export it? We're facing the same sort of challenges with our coffee growers. So communication at that end, and then communication at this end to our end consumer, because they're becoming more discerning. They have more time to be learning to prepare their own coffee at home. So we're selling a lot more domestic equipment, a lot more single origin, really high-end specialty coffees. So we're having to be agile and just come up with different scenarios all the time.
Sure. And how about Vivek?
Yeah, I think we we just coming out. I hope we are out of certain uncertain times. So still, things which have not been fully back on because of various reasons. So, for example, if you look at the market generally, a lot of people are out of coffee currently, especially in Saudi Arabia. People are finding it difficult because the supply chains are either broken or ridiculously expensive, and people are not able to manage the exorbitant costs being asked by the shippers. So what I see is this trend of volatility is going to subside, by early 2021 if things start falling in place, with Saudi cases coming down. Dubai is still on a higher side at the moment. But I expect the growth to be back in the region next year, and volatility to go away. And organic obviously is a trend going forward. People are becoming very conscious about sustainability, environment, climate change, things like that. And with consumer taking their own beverages in control, I see that trend is going to be continue. So online, organic, and prosumer, which is what we call in the industry, people are becoming very knowledgeable about the beverages they consume, and this trend is going to go further.
Perfect. That was very profound, engaging, and insightful, this whole discussion. We're running out of time. So we actually had quite a few audience questions, but we are running out of time now. So I will just take a few questions for what we're doing here right now. The first one is, how do I contact you and how can I exhibit at the expo? So you just have to drop us an email at organicandnatural.com and we'll be right with you. To participate, you can just log into our website, organicandnatural.com, or click the Get Involved button below. How can I be a part of the Digital Trade Week? It's a part of the free value-added services we're giving to exhibitors. We have one more trade week coming. That's our last one next week, but we are going to have a conference at the exhibition itself. And the exhibition is definitely happening from December 15th to 17th. So we had quite a few questions asking if it's happening. Yes, it is happening. So yeah, a big thank you to all of our panelists and our attendees. We have over 3,500 people viewing this webinar right now. So a big thank you to them. And this only shows the interest for the demand of organic and natural products. And I hope it serves to further strengthen this community that we have. So stay tuned for our last Digital Trade Week segment next week, next week, September 22nd, on gourmet snacks and packaged foods. And thank you, everyone. It was really a very educational and insightful session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.